Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failer. The YouTuber, the Marcin, recently proposed a challenge where I do each of the 20 rampages with a high wanted level and stay on the road or the sidewalk the whole time, basically no hiding. The Marcin has given me a new challenge, also having to do with completing rampages, and that's what this video and the next video are going to be about. Marcin writes, "This time your task will be to complete at least 25 rampages while keeping in mind one particular condition. You are not allowed to do the rampage in the district where the rampage is started." So the basic idea is to start a rampage, then quickly get to a different district, then complete the rampage. Basically, this boils down to doing the rampages in less than the usual 2 minutes that you're given. For example, maybe you start a rampage and then take 20 seconds to drive to a neighboring district, so now you have a minute 40 seconds to complete the entire rampage instead of the full 2 minutes. I liked Marcin's idea, but I wanted to make it more extreme. I wanted to know how many of the 20 rampages I could complete, not just in a different district, but on a totally different island from where the rampage started. And so that's what you're seeing here. In this case, I picked up a vehicle rampage over in Portland, and we're supposed to destroy 13 vehicles with rockets. And instead of just heading to another district, I wanted to complete this on another island. So here we are on Staunton doing that Portland rampage. So I really didn't know if this challenge was even feasible. I'm starting here with 2 vehicle challenges, which I knew I could do on a different island. But in the third rampage you're going to see in this video, I'll start the rampage on Portland where you have to kill 25 triads with an Uzi. Then I'll quickly drive over the Callahan Bridge to get to Staunton Island, just like I did here in this clip. And I'll try to kill a bunch of triads over on Staunton. But some of you may be seeing the problem here. Triads don't spawn on Staunton Island. In playing this game for maybe 1,500 hours, I have never seen a single triad on Staunton Island. So at the start of this project, I thought that the whole challenge might just be a non-starter. Before I give away how I did on this challenge, I'll say that the rampages on one of the 3 islands turned out to be much tougher to complete according to the rules of this challenge than the rampages on the other 2 islands. Feel free to pause the video here if you want to think about which island would be the toughest for this particular rampage challenge. Like I said, I'm beginning with 2 vehicle rampages because then I don't have to worry about gang members spawning on islands where they're not allowed to spawn. So here we have to destroy 10 vehicles with grenades, and note that you'll see that the Yardies are mad at me in the save file. Again, this is a late game save file so that all of the bridges and tunnels are open so that I can traverse between the 3 islands freely. I had also considered that I might even need to drive my car along the subway tracks to get between islands quickly, depending on where where a particular rampage starting icon is located. I didn't end up doing that in any of my attempts at the 20 rampages here, but it was a thought. Since I'm using a late game save file, all of the games that could potentially be mad at Claude are mad at Claude. And so here you can see I'm getting harassed by the Yardies. Not cool, guys. Just leave me alone. We are doing science. I had lots of fails on many of these rampages, and while I will show you a few of those fails to illustrate some of the difficulties with this challenge, I'm mostly just showing my one success at each rampage where I was able to even manage a success. Okay, here we go, 25 triads in 120 seconds with the Uzi. Typically you do drive-bys here. You could get out of the car and shoot everybody with the Uzi on foot. But here we go, the moment of truth. This is quadruple speed as I make this boring drive over the bridge. And yes, triads over here on Staunton Island for the first time that I've ever seen. Super. So this challenge is not just dead from the start. I can try this with all 20 rampages because the game spawns whatever gang you're trying to kill wherever you are when you're on a particular rampage, even if you're on the wrong island. So here we go. Let's see how we can do here. So again, time is basically the main issue. It's not the only issue, but it's the most common issue that you're going to see me experience. I mentioned that the Marcin gave me a previous rampage challenge with the high wanted level and without hiding. Nearly every one of my mission fails in that attempt, that challenge, was because I ran out of health. Rarely would I run out of time. I usually died in a lot less than the 2 minutes given for each rampage. But in this challenge, dying isn't much of an issue occasionally, but it's time. Time is the huge issue. For some starting rampage locations, it might take a minute or more for me to get to another island, which leaves less than a minute, sometimes even less than 40 seconds to do the entire rampage instead of the typical 2 minutes. So let's see how we do. Okay, so this one right here, 30 Diablos with the M16. I routinely have trouble completing this one on Portland Island just regularly because I can't always get enough Diablos to spawn in the 2 minutes. 30 is a bunch. I did decide to hop up onto this flower bed, which means you can't really see the Diablos too well, and I'm sorry about that. But I just felt, oh, and occasionally they can get up here. Mostly they can't get up here. I just felt that I needed just a little bit of protection. Just the higher ground, even if it's only a foot higher, is enough to keep the gang members at bay. And if they have bats and not guns, like the Diablos, then I'm perfectly safe up on even a 1 foot ledge like I was before, except for the occasional Diablo. Hey, fellas, I just need, what, 3 of you? Except for the occasional gang member that can hop up there and come after me. We're going to cut this clip off before Claude eats it. Okay, so here is the first real problem. So I haven't even started the rampage, but you can see here this is the one in St. Mark's where you got to take out 20 Mafia. And just loading my game right there, I tanked all 100 of my armor points because there was a Mafia member. And again, this is a late game save file. And so the Mafia are all mad at me. And look, I haven't even gotten out of St. Mark's. Like this is the first real problem for me. The Mafia have very powerful shotguns, and my car can maybe take two full hits, 2 direct hits with shotguns. Some of the Mafia, I believe, have pistols. They don't all have shotguns, and so I'm not so worried about the Mafia that have the pistols. But like 2 shotgun blasts, and I think I am toast. Now, I thought if I could just manage to get out of St. Mark's, so I'm going to head through the Bribe Tunnel here, and I was like, oh, clear sailing. Now we're heading into Chinatown, and it'll just be the Triad shooting at me with their much less strong weapons. But then I remembered, oh, wait, during the rampage, it's only going to be the Mafia that spawn. Wherever I am, they are going to follow me throughout Portland. And so when I died right there in Chinatown because I was getting shot up by the Mafia, I realized this might be a real problem, this rampage and some other ones too. Okay, so then I said to myself, all right, I'm a clever boy. Let me try to get off the roads as quickly as possible, making a beeline over here for the Portland docks and trying to get all right, that's another fail there, heading for the Portland docks. Let me take a couple of these guys out with me before I go to hell. All right, so here I think we're gonna. Oh no, I thought we were gonna make that one. All right, here we're gonna make it to Portland docks, and again, just trying to avoid roads. I think I could maybe have avoided roads even more than I did in this particular clip that you're watching, but again, I have to get to that bridge without interacting with too many Mafia. And so I think I'm going to leave Portland docks here. I probably should have kept going further south inside of Portland docks proper. You're going to see me drive through a lot of Mafia here. This is me trying to take them out so that they don't have a chance to blast me with their shotgun. What do they say? A good offense, the best defense is a good offense. That's what I was applying there. Okay, we'll try again here. Different tact. Now we're going to head up to the mansion. Up here, Salvatore's mansion, again trying to get off the roads as quick as possible. We're going to head over to the tunnel, and maybe I can off-road it all the way to the tunnel and see what happens. But my car is already damaged, so we're going to switch over to this other Sentinel, Mafia Sentinel, and see what we can do. And we'll take this kind of leap of faith over here over to 8 Balls area. And you can see the time ticking away here, right? Because I'm off-roading it, and so I can't drive as fast as I can when I'm on the roads. In particular, there's lots of bumps and things here, and so I don't want to flip my vehicle. I think I smack into this building. Yeah, that's going to cost me some time, but this attempt is just not going to happen. I think we're going to fast forward. So there's no Mafia that spawn on this section of the road. So this is all safe, but we're going to fast forward the drive through the tunnel, but again, the clock is just ticking away. And I knew this was no good, just wanted to see, just for kicks, how much time do I have when I finally make it over to Staunton? And by the way, I'm now seeing Mafia on Staunton for the first time ever. Okay, just a few seconds here, we can tell, and I'm getting wrecked as well. Let me get to the higher ground. And again, I knew this was just not going to work out. Needed a different approach, but just for kicks, decided to finish this attempt out. So when I was recording footage for these 20 rampages, I literally gave up on this rampage at this point and moved on to another one. I really didn't know if this was possible. I didn't want to spend 3 hours on that one rampage when I still had 15 more rampages to try. So we're going to come back to that rampage, but that is our first non-pass so far. Okay, here we go, another triad rampage, and we'll fast forward the trip, the familiar trip over the Callahan Bridge, and we'll take out a bunch of these triads over on Staunton with the shotgun, 20 of them in particular. For many of these attempts, you'll see that I brought a fast car with me to the start of the rampage, like in this one here. Well, I think just about all of them, because again, time is the main issue. Here again, just having this slightly higher ground on this elevated area with all the bushes. Oh, sorry, officer. Makes it so that even though, you know, like a bunch of these guys are shooting at me, the ones with the bats can't get at me. So it's safe enough. And with my, whatever, 225 hit points at the beginning, my health was usually not an issue. But I did die a few times in some of my attempts. But again, mostly it's time. Okay, so that is 5 out of 6 Portland rampages passed, and now we move on to Staunton. So this is the one with the rocket launcher and yardies, and we're going to take our very fast cheetah over to Portland Island and see yardies on Portland Island for the first time ever, at least in my experience playing this game. I had a lot of trouble with this one, fast forwarding this trip again in quadruple speed. Like I mentioned in the previous Rampage Challenge video, when I have a rocket launcher that I cannot put away, that means I can't run and I can't jump. And so it's very difficult to get away from these guys. And so I tried a lot of different areas, and I died. I didn't run out of time, I died. And eventually found this spot, which is close to the bridge where I get over to Portland. And also just gives me a little bit of altitude, a little bit higher ground that these guys won't follow me up to, and that I can walk up to, right? I can't jump up to higher ground, and sometimes can't even like take a step. It's like a foot up, and I can't get up because I'm forced to carry this very heavy rocket launcher. So this was a tough one, but again, I'm showing you the one success here. All right, so another rule that I gave myself throughout this challenge was that I would not use cheats in any of my attempts. So, for example, no flying cars cheat, which might trivialize the whole challenge by just flying away from whatever rampage you start at and heading over to another island. I wouldn't use a cheat to refill my health if I was getting shredded by the opposing gang in an attempt. I wouldn't use the refill the car's health cheat code, which maybe would have helped me do that Mafia one, right? Like if I just keep using that cheat code, then maybe I can make it so that my car doesn't explode from 2 shotgun shells, right? Like after every time that I'm shot by the Mafia, I just use the cheat code again. So no cheat codes in any of my attempts, and just really trying to do these things, do this challenge legitimately. Okay, so you can see here we're doing Yakuza with a flamethrower, in this case 25, and again, this is a first for me. I have literally never seen Yakuza on Portland Island. Fortunately, they are quite docile towards me unless I accidentally punch one of them, in which case they shred me almost immediately. But this one here was a pretty straightforward one for me. Yeah, the time to get from a bunch of these Rampage starting locations over to Portland has been pretty quick so far. There are going to be some trips that are longer. Another issue that I'll have is with weapons where you only take out one gang member with a particular, with a single bullet. So like the sniper, you can only hit one gang member with. The AK-47, you can only hit one gang member with. Whereas here, I can, just like hold down the flamethrower weapon and I can take out a pack of, 2 or 3 or more of these Yakuza. And the shotgun, you can, if the guys that you're shooting are close enough together and you hit them with a shotgun blast, then you can take out 2 or 3 or more with a single shotgun bullet or whatever, shotgun shell. Okay, again, you can see that I put a race car, sports car, right in a convenient spot. This one's going to be trickier because it involves taking off some heads. But fortunately for me, the yardies were quite docile, which was awesome. I actually think I might have failed at this several times because the yardies just wrecked me. And I think I might have used like an earlier save file or something. One where the Callahan Bridge is repaired, but the Yardies aren't mad at me yet. I don't remember. Like, it's weird. Sometimes the Yardies are quite aggressive and sometimes not. So I think that I just haven't made them aggressive yet in this particular save file. If I had to do this one over again and I really wanted to be able to pass this rampage while the Yardies were aggressive, I think I could just go over to that ramp over at the basketball court that we did just a couple of rampages back with the rocket launcher. I think that would have been enough higher ground for me to avoid getting shredded too badly by these Yardies. So that was pretty good. Next up, another Yakuza one, but this time we are not heading to Portland. This will be the first one that we do over on Shoreside Vale. And this will be the first time that I've ever seen Yakuza on Shoreside Vale. So we'll fast forward through this trip. Nothing too interesting here. Again, I'm not getting attacked by the Yakuza, so I don't have to worry about my car's health. But this is a longer trip, and occasionally I got a little bit screwed over by the timing of that bridge that goes up and down. And you know, if you miss it, you got to wait 10 seconds, maybe 15. Okay, let's start using our Molotovs. And again, the first time, I don't know why I got on fire there. Like the fire radius was like way big for that one toss. Yeah, but oh, and here, why are these guys shooting at me? Like normally they only shoot at me when I accidentally punch one of them. So that was too bad. We had to make them a little bit warm so they could think about whether or not shooting me was the right call. But again, this is another weapon where you can take out multiple gang members with a single toss, so that was pretty easy. I think I passed that one on my first attempt. I actually passed a lot of these on my first attempt. Okay, next up, let's head back over to Shoreside Vale for our next challenge. So that previous one was 16 Yakuza with Molotovs. Here we got 8 vehicles with a shotgun. Sometimes I have trouble with this one just in my standard playthrough, but here you're going to see me shoot my car, which won't try to get away, and I was hoping that that would catch a bunch of other cars on fire, so we just got one there, but then I think we'll get another kind of like a chain reaction fire thing happening here. I mentioned in my previous challenge video that I oftentimes lose a lot of health when I'm just speedrunning the game during this rampage because I blow up a car that's close to me, and then it explodes, and I tank a lot of damage. But this went pretty good. The police cars are great because they don't move, right? Like all the other cars with drivers in the move, but if you shoot a police car, the police officer gets out. And yeah, so there you can see I lost a little bit of health from the explosion. Not too shabby. Okay, next Staunton Rampage is another one that I think we're headed over to Shoreside. We're kind of close to the Shoreside Bridge. And this is 15 vehicles with M16s. I really like the M16 weapon. It is awesome. There you can see we missed the timing of the bridge thing, but we only lost a few seconds. Here, I don't know why I decided that car needed to die. But got in his way, and then kaboom. And even though I didn't shoot my cheetah there that just exploded, you still get credit for it. Just anything exploding here, whether it's like because you shot it and it exploded, or because it caught on fire because a car nearby exploded. If a tank blows an army tank that one of the NPCs is driving, drives into a car and explodes it, you still get credit for it. Any of these destroy vehicles ones, you get credit. Regardless of how the vehicle explodes, even if you really didn't have anything to do with it. Like if a police officer is driving towards me recklessly and flips over and then it explodes, then I get credit for that one too. Okay, just hopping around. I think I needed to despawn some of those dead vehicles back behind me in order to allow the game to spawn new vehicles for me. Okay, next up, 25 Yardies with grenades. We'll again head over to Shoreside Vale just because that's closer, quicker to get to Shoreside than to Portland from that spot. Here we missed the bridge by a little more. Again, just kind of fast forwarding through the routine drives over the bridges. And now let's see how we do with our grenades. So the Yardies come after you here, whether they're aggressive to you at this moment in the playthrough or not. As soon as you start tossing grenades, they get ticked off. I don't know why. It's a pet peeve of theirs, I guess. One thing that, so I actually failed this one once before getting this pass that you're watching here. You'll see the grenades actually bounce off of the arties, and then I start to, like, as I'm hopping backwards to get away, I start to hop to the right to try to just, you know, because they're obviously following me, and so I'm just trying to lure them closer to the grenade. Hopefully they'd be in the blast radius. Yeah, so I failed this one before that pass that you saw, and it's because there were so many yardies like right on me in my face after I started that I would try to, like, I would stop running for just a second and I would try to toss my grenade, but because the yardies were right there on top of me, I couldn't toss the grenade. I just kept, like, Claude kept going through this like stuttering kind of animation where he made like he was going to throw the grenade, but then he got interrupted by the yardies being so close or by the yardies hitting him with a bat. And so I ended up dying from losing all my health. Well, of course, that's how you die. But anyway, I failed the rampage because I lost all my health. Okay, here's another vehicle one. I don't know why I stopped on the corkscrew. I mean, clearly I'm in Staunton proper. I got the official sign and everything. I don't know. I just saw a lot of vehicles up here. I figured I'd try it. And then at some point, I'm going to hop off of this bridge, off the corkscrew, and complete the rampage down below. The vehicle, I like this rampage just in general. It's a lot of fun. I was hoping to get this guy as he flew off the ramp. Didn't quite get him, but that would have been cool to hit him while he was in the air. Okay, so I mentioned that one island was way harder than the other. This is the final Staunton rampage. One island was harder than the other two. And you've probably guessed it by now. Shoreside Vale is the tough island for this channel. Shoreside Vale is tough for everything. My goodness. Okay, so one issue with the Shoreside Rampages is that it takes a really long time to get from some of the Shoreside Rampage icons over to another island. Specifically, Wichita Gardens is really far from Staunton Island, at least in terms of following roads. A second difficulty with the Shoreside Rampages is that of the 7 Shoreside Rampages, 3 of them involve taking out members of the Colombian cartel. Now, normally, nothing gives me more pleasure than taking revenge on the cartel for the 9 hours of paramedic fails that they cost me when I tried to pass paramedic on Shoreside Vale. But the problem with the cartel rampages in this challenge is the same problem I had when failing the Mafia rampage over on Portland earlier in this video. They're all shooting at me, and again, they don't have the shotguns like the Mafia do, but the guns that the Colombian cartel have are powerful enough to gradually chip away at the health of my sports car here. And this is why paramedic was so difficult, is that I think it was something like 13, like you take like 13 hits from Colombian cartel bullets on a brand new ambulance, and then the ambulance catches fire. And so I'll continue on this attempt. It's already dead in the water, but this is the problem. The same problem with the Mafia is that my car like just can't survive, at least the path that I'm trying here. My car could not survive trying to get out of Shoreside Vale and over onto Staunton Island. So that's another fail, a temporary fail. We're going to pause on that one. We got to come back to it. And I'm showing you basically the same order in which like these clips are in the same order that I recorded them. Like I didn't do fancy editing where I changed the order. Like I just gave up on that one. I failed it many more times than the one that I just showed you, but I just gave up on it and said I still got more rampages to try at least the first time. And it's possible that some of these 20 rampages are not doable according to the rules of this challenge. So I just moved on. So that's going to be our second one that we got to come back to and see if we can come up with a different plan. Okay, so here the next one is taking out hoods with my shotgun. And I decided to head for the tunnel, thinking that this would be a quicker way to get off of Shoreside Vale than going all the way over to the bridge by the airport. But like I mentioned, Wichita Gardens is just, it takes a long time to get to Staunton from Wichita. And so here we are with like hardly any time left on the clock. And again, I knew this attempt wasn't going to work. But again, the shotgun does have the benefit of being able to take out multiple gang members right there. One shotgun blast took out 2 guys. And so if I could somehow pack them together and maybe get a little more time, did I die or did I run out of time? I don't know. Hardly matters. Okay, so that's the second one we're going to have to come back to. That is another fail, at least for this moment. And I moved on to this next rampage. This is another cartel rampage, but this one was not as difficult because you get to stay in a car, and the rampage icon is very close to the bridge, and so I was able to get over here to Staunton Island without interacting with a single cartel member. So my car is in good shape here. We just have to plow through a bunch of these guys with the car. So this is the only easy rampage, according to this challenge, that involves the Colombians. And I like this rampage too, but again, you got to have a car that you want a car that's reasonably fast. Doesn't have to be a sports car. Like a police car is okay, but you want it to be fast and also durable. Because like I've tried this in not in this challenge, but like previously I'd tried this like with taxis and cabbies, and my cabbie would always just run out of health. It would catch fire before I got through all the 20 of the Colombians. Okay, next up, 7 vehicles with an Uzi. Again, we're pretty close to the bridge by the airport, so this one shouldn't be too bad. Turns out that doing drive-bys on vehicles is much easier when the vehicles are parked. So when I speedrun this game, I actually do this rampage by shooting all the parked cars in the large airport parking lot. Much easier because those cars don't try to get away as soon as you hit them with the first drive-by bullet. And so here, just for kicks, I mean, I think I could have done this legitimately doing drive-bys on moving vehicles, but here I just figured, hey, there's a parking lot with a lot of parked cars, so let's just shoot them up, showing off this technique. Same idea as how I do it over at the airport. You'll note that actually time started to run low near the end of this challenge for me. Fast forwarding, I think this is like double speed because watching me shoot parked cars is not the most interesting thing in this video series. But when I get down to 2 left, I'm going to light the second to last car on fire. That's this one. And then I'm going to quickly get out of my vehicle, park it real close. And so my vehicle is going to catch fire. I'm not going to shoot my vehicle. But again, any vehicle that explodes, like the game doesn't check to make sure you actually did drive-bys according to the rampage. Okay, here is another problematic one. This is again in Wichita Gardens, and it's going to take too long to get off of the island from Wichita Gardens. And in particular, this one promises to be tougher than the other Hoods one, which started in Wichita Gardens. Just fast forwarding through the drive over to Staunton, but we're just not going to have enough time. But this one is more difficult because the other Hoods one involved using the shotgun, where again you can take out 2 or 3 or 4 Hoods with one single shotgun blast. Here, not only do I have a sniper, which can only hit one Hood at a time, but actually I need to be accurate because I need to take off Hood heads for this particular rampage. So yeah, just wanted to see for comparison purposes, like how much time do I need to save in order to like make this rampage feasible. Again, it's 20 Hoods, and I've got like just a couple of seconds left by the time I finally get my first shot off. Actually, I don't think I managed to find a single head here. So that's problematic. We're going to need to come back to that one. Maybe a different plan is in order. Okay, another difficult one because it involves Colombians, and the issue here is going to be just trying to get my vehicle off of this island before it catches fire. So this is the last of the 20 rampages, but as we watch this failed attempt, I'll just give you the kind of summary of what we've seen here with my first pass through of the 20 rampages. So here we made it to, like the billboard area. I guess I'll fast forward through. Well, maybe it's just one attempt, but I fast forwarded through trying to get into another vehicle. This one, yeah, okay, let's see. Can we? Yeah, I guess we'll have a little bit of time to get over to the other island, but just not enough to get there and take out the 20 Colombians. But anyway, so we passed 15 of the 20 rampages in this challenge, but that means we still have work to do on the other 5 rampages. So one of the rampages was the Mafia one on Portland, and then the other 4 rampages were all on Shoreside. So there were the 2 Hoods rampages, both of which start in Wichita Gardens and take forever to get to another island. And then there's the 2 Colombian cartel rampages, including this one here, where again, I'm just going to run out of time. And also the one where you use a sniper to pop off some cartel heads. So 5 remaining challenges in my first pass through with this challenge, and in the next video you will see me doing my best to pass one or more of those 5 remaining challenges. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.